This video is about how to make realistic looking pools. I've done this one at the base of a waterfall. Hello, I'm Flavin and I am a railway modeller. I created a diorama with a cliff face, a bridge at the top, crashing waterfalls, and at the base a waterfall pool that runs off into a river. The diorama went out to various exhibitions with me and then eventually found its own place on my 009 layout, the Edghay and Strines Railway. This is the cliffs that I created out of insulating foam, and they form the basis of this diorama. This is the water area, which I seal into place with either filler or bits of toilet paper. I then build up layers of toilet paper to create a solid base, and once that's dry, I'm ready to move on. Next stage is to paint the whole model in grey acrylic paint. To make the pool look as realistic as possible, I carved out some runoffs on the edge, filled it to make it look as realistic and as solid as possible, and started to do the painting. Now I used a selection of colours here. There's turquoise in there, there is emerald green, there's indigo, there's Payne's grey, there's a small amount of black, and there is some white. I kept building up the layers to try and get the feeling of movement, using my brush to create that movement until I was moderately happy. I then used a small brush to dab white at the base of the waterfalls, and I decided I needed to put some rocks in. So I carved the rocks out of the foam that I made the cliff faces with, painted them grey, touched them up and highlighted them until they looked like real rocks, and then I spent a bit of time placing them on the layout, putting little bits of scatter and gravel on top of them and also into the base of the pool, so that in the same way that you would have rocks. Once I was happy with the base, I put white all over it. The white being heavy structure gel, and the idea of the white heavy structure gel is to give a real feel of movement. Now it doesn't stay white, it dries clear. It does take a while, but it is worth waiting. I apply this, put it on using spatulas. There's a pointed one and a rounded ended one there, and I move it across the heavy structure gel until I'm happy that the water looked as if it was flowing over the rocks. It probably took 24 hours to get to this stage where the heavy structure gel is nearly dry and the white bits that are left there are useful to highlight where I want to put currents. So what I've done is started to use white paint. Now I'm at the stage now where I've actually put the water in for the waterfalls, because then I could make the water flow away from the waterfalls as if it was realistic. And I use a very lightweight brush, small amount of white paint, and I pick out where the water is flowing. Down the sides, down the middle, dropping into those runoffs that I made earlier on. At the base of the waterfalls, there is some splash, as you'd get from a waterfall that's falling from quite a height. I used a fibre that gave it a soft effect of water landing. I used teased out patchwork quilt fibres, as I happen to have a piece to hand. And I've also highlighted to give depth, because I realised it had got a bit shallow looking because I've been painting a lot of currants in it. So I used black, indigo, a small amount of grey, and I painted quite a lot of depth around the waterfalls themselves and a little bit more in the actual rocks and where the water falls off. And I put some reeds on as well. For the next few weeks I'll be doing a number of other videos. One on crashing waterfalls, another on flowing water under a bridge, one on how to make a realistic looking lake, a frozen lake with a frozen waterfall, a harbour, and another on a whitewater river. If you found this video useful, please like it, share it, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will continue to make videos for you. Okay, hope to speak to you again soon. Bye-bye.